Welcome back to another episode. In case you missed the chaos in our previous episode, let's take a quick rewind. We uncovered that our rear differential centre and tail shaft needed a full rebuild, so off to Pinnacle they went. While we were at it, we also ordered some fresh axles and bearings. In the meantime, we discovered that one of our rotors had worn to an unusable condition and one of the calipers had rust and corrosion that wasn't allowing movement to the piston in the caliper. So, you guessed it, it's time to replace the rear brake setup. Let's not waste any more time and jump right into getting messy with us in this episode. Guys, we have a big day today. We've received a call from Pinnacle and the mechanical parts are ready to pick up, so...
Yeah, we got the diff and the tail shaft, they're all redone, they're ready to go, and we've also got a little surprise for everyone that we've also added into the diff build there. We've got a front locker, didn't have a rear, so we've decided to put a rear locker in. We're going to go up and take a look at that and see what the boys have been up to.
And we're also picking up new rear axles and rear wheel bearings because our axles, when we pulled them out, had seen better days, and after we learnt that the hammer approach was not the appropriate way or the correct way to get the axles out, they were already a bit rounded off around the edges before we did that, but obviously us getting them out incorrectly caused them to be a little bit worse. So We've got new rear axles, the whole lot. So let's get up there and pick it up and catch up with the guys because it's been a while since we've seen them.
Yeah, it feels weird not seeing them. We usually see them pretty regularly with the 300 build, and we're always chatting, and we've had like maybe a week or two where we haven't really been in contact, and it feels like, you know, we haven't...
Feels like we're not doing our job.
Yeah, it feels strange,
but yeah, we're excited to get up there, get these bits, and then it's going to be a crazy, hectic, busy process putting all of that, you know,
all
stuff
back together.
So stay tuned.
Okay guys, so today's the big day. The diff center's going back in. Yous have seen the whole process of us pulling it out, taking it up to Pinnacle, getting the whole thing replaced. We've got it back here. Today's the day we're going to whack it back in. Once we've got that in, then you start talking about putting the tail shaft in, the axles, all the brake components back on once we've got them. So let's wait no further. Let's get stuck into the good stuff. Now, the fun part of doing a backyard build like this is we don't have a hoist, so all of this work is done down on the ground. As some of you are probably aware, there is a fair bit of weight to work with here, so the solution to get this diff center back in is to jack it up the same way we got it out. We test out the method to make sure all is in order before putting the gasket on and refitting and bolting to torque. So what we've done is, what Grandad's done is put the sealer on one side of the gasket and we've slid it over and we're putting it on the other side, and this is going to hopefully seal it up, prevent the water from getting in there. So once we've done this, we can attempt to put this bad boy back on and see if we can get a bolt on it. Okay, so on goes the hub. That'll sit on like that. We got new studs, they're loose, so we're gonna take them off. And then we've still got to pack the outer bearing, so that'll go on. And then we're gonna get that tool that we had to take it off, that's gonna tighten up the bearing and fit this all on there. So let's get messy and get some greasy bits in there. we were just putting the hub on, and we're going to put the bearing in and screw the plate in with the tool. And my goodness, I pretty much had the biggest heart attack in my life. There was a massive gap in it, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, we were thinking, you know, we might have a bent shaft, and I was like, holy smokes, how am I going to tell Caitlin? Because if you're a car person, you know that replacing a whole diff casing is not a cheap assignment. But then we pulled it back out and had a little bit of a fiddle. Might have just been the bearing sitting wrong in there. We got that all sitting straight and how it should be, put the hub back on, and it's screwed in fine, and it's got a nice tight gap around it all. So, can breathe a little bit on that one. Sigh of relief.
We've already got the gaskets prepped and axles oiled, so now it's time to get these fresh axles in. Good morning, guys. We have put the tools down today because we are on our way up to Pinnacle to get some parts. We've, as you would have seen, been super busy. We've got the whole diff put back together, the bearings are in, the axles are in. Tail shaft.
Yep.
It's all back in and done up to the torque settings required. It took us a bit of researching to find these. But I did find the 1400 page repair manual for the 80 series. So we got everything we need now. But yeah, we are on our way up to Pinnacle. We actually had to order some new brake rotors for the rear, brake pads and calipers. I'm not exactly sure what was the need for the calipers.
Yeah, it's they at first were like, oh, the left one needs a rebuild kit, so that comes with seals and a new piston. But the other one was looking a lot worse off, and the piston wasn't moving for us, and it was just, yeah, it was a bit beyond repair. So I've decided that we've gone for 2 new brake calipers. We're going to have whole new fresh brake setup in the back, so it's all going to be, the back's going to be running smooth as anything.
It is going to be really smooth. So that's what we're doing today. We're heading up there, getting that, and then getting back home and hopefully getting to work depending on what time we have left in the day.
Oh, we've got a lot to do.
So let's get up there and get these bits and pieces sorted.
So today's mission is the rear brake setup. We've got brand new rotors, we've got calipers and pads as well. So we'll be fitting all those today. Usually what we do is probably get Pinnacle to sort all this out for us. But as you know, this car isn't registered yet, so we physically cannot drive it, so we need to do it ourselves. We got the parts all from Pinnacle, but today we're going to fit it all up ourselves. So first mission, get the rotors on, put a few wheel nuts on them, then we can locate the calipers. The pads are already sitting in the calipers, so they're all set. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're bleeding the brakes. Grandad's out there managing the fluid coming out, and I'm just putting my foot on and off the brake.
The hose is in the bottom of the fluid.
Yep.
And if there's air coming out, there'll get bubbles coming up. You're right, you can take your foot off, Mike.
Yeah, so.
You'll see air, you'll see the bubbles coming up when there's air.
Oh, yeah.
When there's no air, no bubbles, we're right.
So guys, as you would have seen on that last episode, we uncovered this mess right here. And now what's left to do is start to clean it up. So we're going to cut this section out here. We've already got it cut, so I'm going to finish it off. And then it's time to weld a new bit in and get it looking all schmick. Let's get into it.
Now that the chassis is repaired, it wasn't all smooth sailing from here. It was time to fit the bull bar and winch. With this came some extra challenges, but we won't get too deep into that. We test fitted it a few times, but after all of the fiddling, we finally got it bolted up with enough room to move to wire up the winch and the lighting. Do you want to tell me your dad joke that you were saying before?
Yeah, so guys, I can hardly wait to put this in. Surely that gets a laugh. Okay, so on a serious note, we're sticking this bad boy in today. What this is going to do is this is going to adjust where the body actually sits. The car is currently sitting over to the left side a bit too much, so what's going to fix that is an adjustable panhard. We're going to get the old one out, we're going to whack the new one in. Oh well, we're going to get the car sitting where it should be, put the new one in, adjust it to how we want it to sit, and then we should be good to go. Let's see how we go with this. Never done one before, but let's rip in.
What are we doing on Friday?
Friday, we are getting the car registered, hopefully. Well, a blue slip and then rego. So in New South Wales, you need to get a blue slip before you get rego on a new car or on a car that's in the state. So we've got a big process of trying to get this thing registered, but yeah, fingers crossed.
Then we can move on to cosmetic fun.
Yeah, then we can move on to all the fun stuff like rooftop tent and whatnot. So let's, fingers crossed, pray for us guys. We need to pass, we need to get this thing to the Cape. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I don't want to snap your friggin' spanner butt.
Unfortunately, we have some bad news. We didn't pass blue slip, so it was time to return home and get our to-do list up to date. The front brakes needed some attention, so we replaced the calipers and pads. With a 10mm tyre poke on one side of the vehicle, it's time for a front adjustable panhard rod to even it out. The bushes in the sway bars had seen better days, so we needed to replace them too. And, as suspected, we require engineering compliance. Due to the change from an 8-seater down to a 5-seater and the suspension in the rear measuring 15mm over the legal height in New South Wales. But we've got to get this on the road.